Welcome back here to Championship Court. Men's semifinal matchup. Your 1 seed J.W. Johnson and Dekel Bar taking on the upstart 27 seed Anik Lohani and Amrik Donkena. Boys out of Minnesota, proving why they belong here. As Lohani and Donkena started off the day taking out William Sobek and Adam Stone, and then moved along through Johnson Cola and Ryler DeHart. And then, as you can see, taking out Thomas Wilson and DJ Young in the quarterfinals. So you see how these boys got here. Dekel Bar and J.W. Johnson taking out Grant Bond and Brendan Long. On your other semifinal matchup is Dylan Frazier and Andre Daescu taking on Kyle Yates and Rafa Hewitt.
That match is over on CC2 right now.
Yes, so we have both men's semifinal matches going on for you right now. We have this one here on CC1. Frazier, Daescu, Yates, and Hewitt on CC2. And we have an update on the women's side of things. Etta Wright and Lee Whitwell in 3, 2-11, 11-3, 13-11 over Susanna Barr and Mary Brasha. So the next matchup we'll have for you here on Championship Court after this one, which hasn't even started yet, is Etta Wright, Lee Whitwell, Anna Bright, and Georgia Johnson. So if you're looking for CC1, this is us here. CC2 is a different stream, so don't be confused by the two. If I talk about another stream or another match on a stream, it's on the other court.
We've got Ari Shannock and Chad Edwards leading that broadcast for the team, and I'm in here for one more match with you, Dom, and then I got to go write some checks.
All right.
Pros always want to get paid, you know?
Yes, they do, Ken. Yes, they do.
Guys, 15 seconds.
Mr. Bob Unitech is in as our head referee for this match. A couple of new players here.
Yes, we have Anik Lohani and Amrik Donkena. Lohani in the white, Donkena in the blue. Boys out of Minnesota.
They've had a good run here so far today. It'll be interesting. I don't know how much Dekel and JW know of their patterns, know of their shots.
Yeah, and they're staying patient right there. And Donkena staying nice and soft, keeping that ball in play. They're on the board first. Lohani, his own version of the spin serve. Two-handed backhand drive right there.
Well, at first glance at these two young men from Minnesota, you can see they've got some racket skills, beautiful strokes, beautiful technique off of the first couple of points that I've seen here.
Big serve there from Dekel Bar, but then on the flip side of that, I know they've probably seen Dekel Bar and J.W. Johnson, but it's a little different when you're between the lines against them, Ken. There's J.W. Johnson winning that firefight.
Dekel and JW picked up the title 2 weeks ago in New Jersey. Winning gold there.
And nice leave right there.
JW was our Triple Crown winner that week, winning all 3 events. Took last week off, did not go to Philadelphia, and now he's back here. And then with us next week, APP Atlanta.
Oh, and leave that ball in the middle and splits Lohani and Donkena. And a 3-1 lead for Johnson and Barr.
1-2.
Oh, and right there. That is awesome and unfortunate all at the same time there. As Donkena goes right off the tape and that ball just drops. That's a serious forehand right there, Ken.
A lot of paddle head speed as he going through with that ball. I just clipped it, and I don't think JW saw that coming. Speaking of JW, he's already advanced to 2 finals. Championship Sunday tomorrow. We've got JW playing in the singles and in the mixed doubles finals. We will see if he's able to get the men's final as well and attempt another Triple Crown. He has won 3 Triple Crowns this year on the APP. Delray Beach, South Carolina,
2-3-2.
New Jersey, and trying to make it a 4th here in Chicago. Triple Crown is when you win the singles, doubles, and mixed doubles events at a single tour stop.
What's so nice watching this in Lohani, watch how low he gets on this two-handed backhand. When he's driving this, he gets so low, drives through it, and they have now taken a 4-3 lead.
3-4-1. Second serve.
A lot of spin on that return of serve. Made it heavy for JW to come up with the drop.
Oh, nice hands there from Anik Lohani as he's toe-to-toe with JW Johnson right there and goes off the edge of Johnson's paddle. Lohani and Donkena going to look to add to their lead here, up 4-3 early in game number 1.
Second serve.
Backhand drive was too high that time. Deco was sitting there with his paddle up ready to put the ball away.
4-3-2.
Just misses that back baseline right there, Ken. He's coming in aggressive right here.
Well, they're not scared. They've got nothing to lose, Dom. They can just, swing out, go for their shots. This is a great opportunity for them being on CC1 at a Tier 1 event here. Backed off.
Right, backed off, and then you're trying to cut through that a little too much right there. Good pressure there from Lohani on the flying two-hander.
Deco's serve's got a lot of pace to it. We've talked about that before. It's not a heavy spin serve.
No.
But it's deep. It's got pace. It's very hard to attack off of his serve and to get in behind it.
Well, you watch him too, Ken, and he gets up on that toe. So he uses every inch of his body to get up and over that. And when he's hitting, he's almost hitting down on the ball.
As we mentioned on the broadcast earlier, when JW's sister was playing, JW was out at the White Sox game earlier this week doing some press and publicity for the Chicago Open. Got to hang out with the players, throw some balls around on field with them. It was pretty.
Not a bad deal, Ken.
Not a bad deal at all. I was like, God, wish I could do that.
Yeah, I know, right?
I made it to Wrigleyville, but I never got on the field.
Yeah, I saw they had you behind the gates.
They did.
You weren't allowed past the red rope. I saw that.
But at least I got to the red rope.
You did. You did. You did. You were on the warning
to the red
track.
rope.
You're on the warning track. Oh, what an angle right there from Donkena. You watch him jump this sideline here on this next ball.
I'm very impressed with this young man. I jinxed him.
Right on cue, Ken. Goes long with that return to serve, and it's a 3-point lead here for Johnson and Barr. And see, and what you see is veteran players in Johnson and Barr making adjustments. They probably haven't seen much of Lohani and Donkena. They figured out what they're going to do, and they made the adjustments correctly.
Oh, I held it.
That's such a good ATP there from Dekel Barr. And you see Donkena go over there and take a look and go, how do you fit that in there? He had to get the angle and the view of it. I love it. These guys are having a blast out here, but started off hot, kind of cooled down a little bit. And you're seeing pressure now from Dekel Barr and J.W. Johnson.
Great serve by Dekel again.
So JW just kind of standing straight up on that block, right? Almost very nonchalant, almost too nonchalant. That's a nice little inside out there from Dekel Barr, and they have a game point on their paddle here. So nice side out by Lohani and Donkena. They hold and fight off one game point.
Donkena saw that backhand volley change of direction come off of JW's paddle. He was ready for it. Good serve.
Nice again, Dekel Barr going inside out right at that left hip of Donkena. Again, Johnson standing straight up, trying to do something with that. He's almost too tall, and on top of that, trying to hit down.
Game point.
Game point number 2 for Johnson and Barr, and they will take game 1 by a score of 11-6 over Lohani and Donkena. It was 4-4, but Johnson and Barr go on a 7-2 run to end it, and they will take game 1. We'll take a commercial break when we come back. Game number 2 here on Championship Court at the APP Chicago Open presented by Lexus. We are back here on Championship Court. 1 seed J.W. Johnson and Dekel Barr taking on Anik Lohani and Amrik Donkena. Lohani and Donkena came out firing. It was close early. Got it to 4-4. But Barr and Johnson pull away with a 7-2 run to end it. They take game number 1. Game number 2 coming up right now. It's like Dekel Barr will be serving to start.
So Dom, I was watching USTA US Open Billie Jean King last night. Serena had her last match lost. I don't know about you, Don, but it was just hard having to be back to tennis courts. We had converted that whole place to pickleball. I didn't know how I felt about that.
I love the U.S. Open for tennis, but it was fun pickleball there. We had a good time in New York.
APP set to go back. APP New York City Open 2023 Memorial Day weekend.
Good leave right there from Lohani and Donkena, and they're up 1-0 here early in game number 2. Just long. The backhand roll there from Donkena, and he just overhits it a little bit. Had an opening.
He set the pattern up. He had the opening. You're right. That's the experience factor you talked about a little bit earlier today. This is a good opportunity, good experience for our 2 boys from Minnesota, regardless if they win or lose.
Oh, J.W. Johnson all over that in the middle with that forehand. Again, J.W. with that little wrist flick, right at the backhand.
Jammed him. A lot of excitement going on CC2 right now.
Oh, nice adjustment there from Donkena. As Deco Bar had an alley here. He goes to flip behind, but Donkena, great backhand flip back. What you're seeing J.W. Johnson and Deco Bar do really well right now is recognize how hard that Lohani and Donkena are hitting that ball and letting that ball go out.
They've let several balls go out. You're correct. So as we're seeing these infusion of tennis players with great technique and great skills come into the game, you can still see where they need.
Nice finish there from Donkena.
But you can see where they still need to refine their pickleball skills with the soft hands, the ability to change the spins and the speeds of the ball and not to overhit. Beautiful drop by Deckel.
Nice ball from Deco Bar. And again, you watch Deco Bar, no big backswing. Stays in front, paddles always there, ready to go, and just gets Lohani and Donkena out of position at the slightest, and he finds a hole.
Just out. They don't want to make these easy unforced errors. They've got to stay competitive with them in this second game.
Ton of experience coming through right now here.
Timeout.
Yep, and a timeout here from Lohani and Donkena. Ken, what's the adjustment right now, if there's any at this moment, the immediate adjustment from Lohani and Donkena during this timeout?
Well, Lohani's coming up with some big drives. He's back at the baseline, driving that forehand, and then he's not following up behind the drive, getting himself to the kitchen line. I wonder if there could be some discussion right now between these 2 young men of maybe not driving that third ball, but dropping that third ball and then sneaking in behind it and trying to see if you can't go toe-to-toe. The one thing we know about JW and Deco is that when they go on offense, very seldom do they get off of offense. It's very hard to reposition and reset against JW and Deco once they've taken that first strike. A lot of times that ball doesn't come back with their opponents.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Like to see Lohani and Donkena try and slow up a third instead of drive one and get into some points here. Wait for the right opportunity. That's a nice ball right there again, and they didn't initiate that. Dekel Bar initiated that, and they just adjusted. Nicely done.
When you're hitting a two-handed volley up at the kitchen line, you really cannot have extra backswing on that ball. There's too many things that can technically go wrong with that stroke. We saw a great example shot before then where he just kept that pedal up and was very clean on his technique.
A little long on the serve there from Lohani, and it's a side out to Johnson and Barr. And nice ball right there from Lohani down the line. Johnson thought that ball was going to go long, stays in.
5-1-2.
Yeah, see, you're trying to speed up at Dekel Bar, and he's moving forward. You don't want to give him that opportunity. Put it at his feet. Don't put it at his hip and waist height. He's going to hurt you, and like he did right there.
All right, 1-6. See if these young men can get a run here.
Oh.
I didn't know if that was a double fly swan or what Dekel was trying to do with that one. It was a hell of a lob.
Well, and he didn't even have to move, and he got a good paddle on it, but still, he's trying to get that angle. It's a tough angle to try and hit right there.
He looked all over us and gave us a little smirk.
Oh, wow. That's a tomahawk right there. Windmill put away here from Donkena.
Hammer time.
3-6-1. Second serve. 3-6-2. Side out. 6-3-1.
And good finish right there from Donkena. And good setup, though. Didn't try and do too much with that first ball. Got the pop-up and then finishes.
6-3-2.
Oh, nice jump in the kitchen line. We saw him do that in game one, did Donkena, and watch the footwork here from the other side as he hops that kitchen line, puts it away with the backhand.
3-6-1.
Nice earning from Donkena.
Second serve.
Update on Championship Court 2. Dylan Frazier, Andre Dasku are up 5-2 in the third game against Kyle Yates and Rafa Hewitt. We keep hearing a lot of excitement from the crowd over there. Great crowds this weekend here in Chicago, Dom. Today is gender doubles for pros. Off the men's and women's, and senior pros are playing their mixed doubles bracket today.
Oh, nice hands battle by all four of these gentlemen, but it is Lohani and Donkena coming out on top of that.
Crowd loving this excitement out here.
Looked like Donkena pulled the ball off his hip in the middle of that point. Just misses the ATP, does Dekel Bar.
He had it lined up, Dekel. Or Dom, he had it lined up.
Yep,
Just pulled it wide.
Yep. Couldn't hook it around enough. Yeah, there's a 1-2 combo there from Lohani with that two-handed backhand.
Yeah, he's had that parent a couple times. Does a great job of keeping his paddle up and keeping that wrist very cocked.
All right off the foot of Emmerich Donkena. They are within 2 here, keeping this close here in this second game. Ball bounced twice off the top of the net. Oh, and Barr going back to that little flip down the line. The inside out here. Slices through that nicely. It's just kind of grazing that underside of the ball. It almost looks like he's going to pull that ball cross court.
Second serve. Six, 4-2.
Ball a little long there from Lohani.
7-4-2.
No, leave it.
A good side out here for Lohani and Donkena. See if they can get on the board again here. Chip away at this lead that Johnson and Barr have created. It's tough right there as Donkena trying to go to that sideline, but again, not a lot of room to work with over there. Just long off the tape right there, and quick side out for Barr and Johnson.
Oh, between the legs.
Deckel goes tweener to get him right back in this. Johnson can't finish it right there, but nice hands from Deckel Barr. There's the tweener drop, and then he gets the next one too. That's too good right there. Deckel Barr using his tall frame to reach in there, take that ball out of the air, and flip it down the line as they double up Lohani and Donkena.
8-4-2.
On off the tape, no love there for Anik Lohani as Johnson and Barr start to pull away here, up 9-4 in game number 2.
9-4-2.
Good serve again. The serve really has developed more and more into a weapon, Dom. You're seeing not only the spin of the serve, but also
10-4.
more depth and more power. Another great serve by Deckel.
Oh, and Deckel trying to go tweener again. Doesn't get that one, but they do have a 10-4 lead here in game number 2. If Lohani and Donkena are going to do anything, it's got to be now. You cannot let them get that serve back without chipping away here.
No.
There's one. Nice drive there on the forehand side from Lohani.
5-10-1.
Bad luck.
Serve.
They're right off the tape there, sails wide.
5-10-2.
And just long off the paddle of Donkena. It'll be match point number 2 here
5-1.
for Barr and Johnson. Nice finish there from Amrik Donkena.
Yeah. 10-5, 2. Point game match.
And Donkena trying that backhand Ernie off the tape, and it will be a 2-game victory for Pickleball and J.W. Johnson. They move on to the winner bracket final, 11-6, 11-5 against Anik Lohani and Amrik Donkena. We've got your SunMed play of the game here coming up. There's this hands battle we were right in the middle of. Look at that ball off the hip from Donkena in the middle of that point. And Lohani and Donkena come out on top of that point. Unfortunately, not the match. And it will be Pickleball and J.W. Johnson advancing to that winner bracket final. Ken, thank you for joining me. I know you got other duties you got to do and get out of here.
Checks as I see the queen, Miss Lee Whitwell, taking championship court.
That's right. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I'll speak with Pickleball and J.W. Johnson about that victory here at the APP Chicago Open presented by Lexus.